but today I'm the greatest of all time. Thank you.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters. And we ain't got nothing to hide, we move forward like soldiers. You better wake up for the pay stub, or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up, play the game, bruh.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah.
You know I'm always honest, there ain't no way I'll never stop it.
I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top,
I'm always flirting with pain, she like to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building a dynasty while the haters be trying me, but they hate from inside.
All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Unscripted live on the Elite Sports and Entertainment Network. I'm your host and producer, Logan Landers, and join me to do some NFL previews for the week of Thanksgiving. Jay McLovin, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing well, man. Since we're doing NFL, man, my Cowboys got the win, so I'm super stoked, and hopefully they keep it going.
Yeah, and of course, as always, Dustin Reese. Dustin, how you doing, my friend?
We have 5 straight days of football this week.
Yes, we do. Yes,
it's gonna be great.
Man, it's gonna be fun though. It's gonna be fun, and I'm looking forward to it. Also, this is live on our Roku channel for the Northeast Streaming Sports, our friends over there. So you'll be seeing this on Sunday when it's live. So most of these games will be done by then. So you can see if we got them right or not. But let's get into it, guys. Of course, Thanksgiving weekend. That means a lot of historic games, a lot of big rivalries. And first one is a classic, Packers-Lions. Dustin, kick things off. Who's winning this one?
Well, this is why they play the game right, because the Lions got a big scare from the Chicago Bears this weekend. They were down 26-14 with 5:04 left in the game before scoring 17 points in the last 5 minutes to win that game, and they escaped with a 31-26 victory. Packers found a way to grind out a win against the Chargers 23-20. Jordan Love is coming off his first career 300-yard passing game, so I guess there's some positive to take away from that game if you're a Green Bay Packers fan. But when it comes to the Lions, I think last week's game with the Bears was a classic case of them overlooking their opponent and kind of focusing on this Thanksgiving game. And I think when they realized that, hey, we might be an 8-2 football team, we can't overlook anybody. We're still not getting the respect that I think we deserve, so we need to go out there and take care of business, which they did in the fourth quarter. I think they're going to come out with a different mindset. You look at what they did to Green Bay earlier in the season in Lambeau. I think it's going to be a similar result in Detroit. I think Lions take care of business.
Well, we heard the Lions win, Dustin. We couldn't hear you score, though, if you're still there.
31-17.
All right, there we go. All right. Yeah, it's still strange to hear that the Lions are 8-2. That's just still a bizarre sentence to say, and they're a top team in football. That's just very, very strange. But for me, you mentioned that the Lions had a scare last week, in that they played down to their competition, but in the end, they did win. They pulled out the win, and it was a tough win, but hey, W still W in the books. The Packers, Jordan Love had a really good game the other week. As you mentioned, Jay, he really had it going. We'll see if it can continue. But for this one, I'm going to go with the hot hands. I'll go with the Lions taking the win in this one. Final score, I'll go 28-14.
Yeah, this Packers-Lions, back in the day, it used to be, Packers were the dominant team, Lions were the inferior team, and now it just kind of has gone in reverse to now the Lions are the superior team and Packers are, the inferior team at 4-6. We're not used to seeing the Packers at 4-6. But I will tell you, it's a better record than what I thought was going to be having with Love. I'm not a big Love fan, obviously, because he's got 14 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. That's just not the typical start from a rookie first-season quarterback that the Packers have had when they had Brett Favre in his rookie season and also Aaron Rodgers in his rookie season. So it's a little bit out of the norm. I think the Packers are still trying to figure out if Jordan Love can be the next big quarterback there in the Packers land. So I think it's going to be a lot of A.J. Dillon if they want to have a shot at this, or even Aaron Jones. Goff is playing well at 14-5. Montgomery is doing well. Gibbs is doing well, and that running back by committee over there. So honestly, I'm going to go Lions in this. I don't think it's close. I think Aiden Hutchinson and company I think they take care of business against the Packers offense. So I'm going to go 35-20 in favor of the Lions.
All right, well said. Let's see. So Dustin, let's see. So he's put his messages in the private chat since he has to dip out for the rest of the show. But that is all right, though. We have his scores. All right, Jay, let's keep it moving on to the next game here. One that you're, I think, particularly invested in. Cowboys and Commanders, a long-time rivalry. One that's always played on Thanksgiving. So who do you have in this one?
Yeah, if you watched the Cowboys last week, we got the win over the Panthers. That's not really anything to brag about because the Panthers are horrible. But the one thing I do want to highlight about that game was Bland. A lot of people thought when Trey Diggs went down that we were going to struggle on that side of the defense if we can even compete with Stephon Gilmore. And I think at the end of the day we can, right? Because Bland got his fourth pick six last week, and so the guy is just doing phenomenally well. So and then you look at the Commanders; they're not doing bad either. I mean, Howell is doing well, but again. Howell did throw 3 interceptions versus the Giants, and this is the Giants slogan. Mm-hmm. I think a 31-19 loss to the Giants. That just kind of tells you everything you need to know right there. So that kind of gives me a lot of concern about this Washington Commanders team, especially since they let go of Sweat, especially since they let go of Chase Young. I don't think this defense I don't think they let go of the right people. I think they should have kept what they had. And I think they got rid of the wrong guys. So, Prescott, he didn't do bad against the Panthers. He went 189 or 181, somewhere in that neighborhood in terms of yardage. But he had 2 touchdowns and no turnovers, which is what I want out of him. I don't care if you throw for 300. I just want you to get positive yards, touchdowns, and no turnovers. If you can do that, hey, look, we'll make it work. And he did that. So, again, I'm going to go Cowboys over Commanders. Just because the Commanders aren't the team anymore, they've taken a downward slide. And not that I'm trying to say the Cowboys are the best thing since sliced bread, because we still have our issues, and I'm not quite over yet. But I am going to go Cowboys over Commanders. I think it'll be 21-13 in favor of Dallas.
All right. Before we get to my thoughts on this one, Dustin has it Cowboys 35 and Commanders 13. Yeah, so for me, I think that, Jay, whatever y'all lost Diggs early in the year, a lot of people thought y'all were done for. I'm not saying it's been all sunshine and rainbows, right? But you've gotten it done, and you're looking in a really solid position right now as we get towards the later half of the season. As for Commanders, we know that, they're a team that is more so trying to get back to what they should be, and not, they're not a great team. They're not an awful team. They're just kind of in the middle, They're stuck in that middle zone. And for me, I'm going to have to go with this one, man. I think it's going to come down to quarterback play mostly. Just how these guys do. Will Prescott have a good performance? Will he, limit turnovers? Will he make, good and smart passes? Or, and for the Commanders, it's what can Sam Howell do in this matchup? It's how well can he play? Can he make the right throw? Can he limit, can he step up in the pocket when he'll need to, whenever you've got a solid defense pressuring him? It's a lot of factors. But for me, I'll have to go with the Cowboys. Not like a blowout, but I think they'll win this one in a decisive fashion. So give me the Dallas Cowboys getting the W on Thanksgiving over the Washington Commanders. Final score in this one, I will go with Dallas. I'll go straight up at 30, and I'll have Washington rock with 13 on the board.
Yeah, that's about right.
All right. Next game, this is going to be a good matchup here. A NFC West showdown. Big implications in this one, Jay, as we know. Before we give our analysis, want to give Dustin his final score. He has the 49ers winning 28 and the Seahawks 14. So do you agree with Dustin's final score and the 49ers getting the win by 14?
Yeah, this game, it's going to be a really good game because, like you said, the implications. I mean, 49ers are 7-3. Seahawks are 6-4. You know, this could very easily be a 7-4, 7-4 tie for first place if the Seahawks were to win. And obviously the 49ers need to win this game so that way they can get more than just a half a game lead in their division. Purdy, is not playing bad. He's not playing spectacular, but he's certainly playing than the guy that we thought of as Mr. Irrelevant in the draft. Mm-hmm. 15 touchdowns and 5 picks. Geno's kind of hitting some rough patches over there, Logan, in terms of his quarterback play. He's a little over almost at 2,200 yards. But what worries me with Geno right now is his interceptions. He's got 11 touches and 7 interceptions, and that's never a good thing. Not that 5 interceptions for Purdy is any better, but really Purdy kind of has a little bit more leeway with the defense and the other things that he has going on that team that can kind of hide that 5 interceptions, whereas I don't think Geno quite has that. You look at Walker the third, who's got about 895 yards, 6 touchdowns, to McCaffrey's 153 at 747 and 9 touchdowns. But what I like about McCaffrey is he's not just a running back. This guy, you can put him as a tight end, a blocking back. You can put him in as a wide receiver. I mean, you can do any number of things with McCaffrey, Ayuk, Kittle. I mean, they have so many different ways. Debo, if Debo can get back to a little bit more healthier in that quad, this team is extremely dangerous on many different levels on that offense, and their play calling can be done in so many different ways because of the natural players and the interchangeability of those players and what their roles are on the team. So really, San Francisco can keep you guessing in a lot of ways, whereas I think Geno and that Seahawks offense is a little bit more straightforward and easier for defenses to kind of, play call against. My thing about that also is the fact that now that Chase Young is there, by the way, Chase Young and Bosa both had sacks last week, so Chase Young is starting to fit in nicely in this defense. That San Francisco defense it's going to get better and better as time goes on. So I fully expect the 49ers to re-cement themselves as one of the best teams in the NFC. Again, that still belongs to the Eagles until said otherwise. But no Jamal Adams is in the secondary for Seattle, which then again opens up that middle of the field when you don't got one of your better players safeguarding it. San Francisco did beat Tampa 27-14. Purdy put up 333 and 3 touchdowns. So he really is coming off of a very good game. Again, Young and Bosa had those sacks. So San Francisco's kind of reeling now. They're feeling good about themselves. They do have the half game lead. It is played in San Francisco, I believe. Or no, is it San Francisco or Seattle, Logan?
Let me check with that.
I think it might actually be in Seattle. But again, Seattle's coming off the loss to the Rams at 17-16. 68 yards of rushing against this Rams defense. Walker the third obviously clearly did not have a good game. Nobody had really a good game running the ball for Seattle. And that's a big thing when you take into consideration how good of a run defense that San Francisco provides. So I am going to go 49ers in this, regardless of whether it's in Seattle or not. I think 49ers get that win, and I think they get it win pretty well. I think Dustin was kind of spot on at 28-14. I might go 21-13, somewhere in that neighborhood. But, yeah, I think he's spot on with that score.
Yeah, so, yes, this is going to be played in Seattle. So big game, big field there. And when you look at these teams, I think that whenever the 49ers acquired Chase Young, a few weeks ago when it was the trade deadline, and they didn't really give up nothing for him. I thought it was a steal then. And you see just how well he has meshed with this system so quick. He has looked really, really good when a lot of people were writing him off due to injuries and we'll just say kind of subpar play. But he's kind of showing, that talent now. You see with the 49ers of why he was a top 5 pick, of why they had so much hope around him, It just didn't work out, I think, in Washington's system. His injuries didn't help him either. But we all believe that San Francisco is probably, in terms of just how their team is structured, from top to bottom, one of the top in the league. They've got tremendous talent on all sides. When you look at their offense, when you look at their defense, there's not a whole lot of holes there. That offense is just absolutely on fire whenever it wants to be, right? We know they struggled a little bit, but Brock Purdy had a perfect passing rating, so it's hard to say that that's a letdown anyway. In recent weeks, they seem to be back on track. As for Seattle, though, you mentioned no Adam. That's a big loss. That's a big loss in this game. You need all of your big guys there to help you out and to get things going in a very big game. This is title implications, division title. Who could take it at the end of the year? And this will be interesting to watch because you have two teams who they're vying for just playoff position. Who's going to take their division? And we've seen them have good ups, good downs. It's been a really fun season to watch for both of them. But I'm going to go, Jay, with the slight edge. I'll go with San Francisco 49ers. I think they are just locked and loaded, and their defense is way too good. So for me, I'll go with the San Francisco 49ers taking the win in this one. I'll go I think Stat Guy nailed it. I'll go a slight adjustment. I'll go 49ers 28, and I'll go Seahawks 17. So I think it's going to be a good game.
You get him an extra field goal. Look at you.
I did. Give him just a little bit more love in this thankful season. All right, Jay. So with this game, it just came out, a few minutes ago as time we're pre-recording this, that Tim Boyle will be the starting quarterback for the Jets in this one, Jay. So does that sway your opinion of who will win this ball game?
Well, my opinion was, even if it was Zach Wilson was going to be that Miami is going to pretty much follow suit with what the Bills did to them last week. The Bills went in there and destroyed the Jets 32-6 to the point where the offensive tackle for the Bills was in the tunnel after the game, almost to the point of getting in a fight with one of the Jets players because he felt like the Jets were being disrespectful to the Bills. I don't know how in the world the Jets could ever be disrespectful to the Bills when they just got their butts handed to them. And I cleaned that word up for you, Logan. They kicked their butts to oblivion. I don't know how in the world they could ever disrespect a team when they just came off one of the worst beatings of their life. But apparently, though, they were saying some unkind things in the tunnel, and there were some issues. Apparently, Sauce Gardner and a few other players were trying to break up the scuffle that was in that tunnel. So that just kind of tells you where this Jets team is at. Look, guys, apparently, earlier after, I'd say probably, second or third week, Logan, if I'm not mistaken, Aaron Rodgers, after he had tore that Achilles, was talking about, making his debut or coming back in week 12, that it wasn't over for him yet. And here we are now in week 12, and we're talking Tim Boyle. So that just kind of gives you an idea of where Aaron Rodgers is. Currently, I think they said he's going to be reevaluated sometime during the first week of December. Honestly, if I'm Aaron at this point, I wouldn't try to make the comeback. I'd probably just try to get myself straight and try to make this debut next year. But again, he is getting older, so I don't know how much more that body of his could take, to be honest with you. But Tim Boyle, nobody even knows who the hell Tim Boyle is, honestly. I don't know who Tim Boyle is. I've never followed his career. Couldn't tell you one thing about him. I think is he coming out the practice squad? I believe, Logan. Am I right on that?
I don't know because I don't think he is. I think he's been a backup.
There was one other guy that they were talking about outside of Tim Boyle that they were bringing in. I think he may have been the one. They had one guy come out the practice squad that they were going to look at, and I think Tim Boyle just happened to be he's probably like the third string guy. But either way, man, does it really matter? Look, Zach Wilson wasn't the guy. Tim Boyle's damn sure not going to be the guy. Not when you're going up against Miami, who is the best team of your division. If you couldn't handle it with a guy who has some experience under his belt against Buffalo, you're sure as hell not going to handle it with the guy who's coming off the third string against Miami. It's just not going to happen that way for you. Wilson went, I think, in that game 7 of 15 for 81 yards, a touch and a pick. The Jets, I think they recorded somewhere around the neighborhood of 63 rushing yards against the Bills. So that just kind of tells you how well Dalvin Cook played, how well Breece Hall played, and what we can really look forward in this Jets team. I really wouldn't worry about trying to get Devontae Adams over to your squad this year. I'd probably wait till next year because if I'm Devontae, I'm probably going to try to write it out more with the Raiders this year. I think they give me the better opportunity to win than what the Jets are going to do for me. So at the end of the day, yeah, I think this is an easy one to call. I think this is almost a no-brainer. Jets will not be called. It will be the Dolphins that come away with the win. Tua will get another win in this one. And I think it's going to be another blowout. And I think if the Bills gave 32-6, I'm going to say 42-3 from Miami.
Yeah, Dustin had a very rough score for this one. He had the Dolphins 45 and the Jets 7.
Yeah, I didn't even look at his score. But the fact that me and him are on point like that, that's interesting.
Yeah, look, if I'm Aaron Rodgers, what's the point of coming back?
Yeah, honestly.
What's the point? I get you signed a mega deal and you've got all this insane rehab you're doing that's defying physics. But no, ain't no need for it. I mean, it might get Robert Saleh fired at the end of the year if they keep struggling, which would be interesting just because of how poorly they've played. I mean, I just say more so on offense. The defense has been fine. The defense has actually been pretty solid. But if the offense, which is just abysmal, they can't get nothing going. And the sad part is that they acquired a lot of pieces this offseason, Jay.
A lot.
To get that offense going. And I get it is not the ideal system. It's not the guy you want. But, Jay, you got it. You would think by 11 weeks in that they would be able to come up with some type of game plan to get some points on the board.
Logan, let me just say this, though. I think we knew this. I think we knew this last year. Before they brought in Aaron Rodgers, you knew Zach Wilson wasn't the guy.
Oh, yeah.
You knew that everybody that they had behind Zach Wilson wasn't the guy, right? I mean, they tried every single thing they could do. Nobody was the guy there, and they were basically just a team without a field general. And that's why they went in and tried to get Aaron Rodgers as general over there. Honestly, Logan, and I'm going to end my little quirk with this, is I think that Salah gets a bye. I don't think this is a year for him to get fired because if I'm Jets brass, I'm going to be like, you know what? How do I hold Salah accountable when the guy that we brought in for him got hurt and he's still back to what he had last year? So I think with Aaron Rodgers getting hurt, I think it gives him a free pass to next year and see what they can do with the Jets. More so, if I'm Salah, I'm not bringing Aaron Rodgers back because I know that I'm probably going to get a free pass because I don't have a quarterback. So I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait till next year, bring Aaron in fully healthy. Let's try to make it work then, and then I can prove my worth at that point, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I got you on that. And then for me, talking about the Dolphins just real quick. Yeah, I mean, the Dolphins are a really good team. I mean, we thought we predicted they'd be a solid team, and they're living up to it. I'll go with the Dolphins get the big win this one. They need to, get a dominant win. I'll go Dolphins 38, and I'll go Jets 10.
Yep, that's about right.
Yep. All right, Jay. Final game, Monday night game here. Vikings and Bears. Yay. Before you go, though, let me just give Dustin's real quick. He has the Vikings winning a close one, 24-21.
All I can think about in this game is Wizard of Oz, lions and tigers and bears. Lions and tigers and bears. Unfortunately, this Bears team isn't like that. Well, or are they? because you remember the Cowardly Lion.
Mm-hmm.
I think that kind of resonates a lot with this Bears team. Unfortunately, they're just not a good team at all. And in fact, I'm curious to see if they're going to try to come up as close as they possibly can to be dead last, because I think Justin Fields knows the writing is on the wall. I think the Bears know the writing is on the wall. They got to know the writing's on the wall. They got to be trying to get another quarterback and try this again and see if they can get it right. And hopefully they get, the first pick, or at least the first or second pick, and see if they can right this ship, because I think we all know that Justin Fields just is not the answer for this Bears team. However, Nakama, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that they just lost to the Lions 31-26. Fields had 169 yards and a touchdown. He also had 18 rushes for 104. So that just kind of tells you how that day went. Herbert is back. He is in the mix. He gave them, I think, around 6 or 7 fantasy league points. He went 16 rushes for 35 yards. I think he had a little bit on the receiving side, but he's only averaging around 2.2 yards per carry. Foreman wasn't that much better. He was averaging around 2.3 yards per carry. So it just kind of tells you that Fields is not only your quarterback, but he's also your leading rusher. And that's, like I told you before, Logan, I've said this a million times, if your quarterback is your leading rusher, you have no team. You have no run game. And so for that reason, I don't think this is a hard thing to call. It's going to be Vikings over Bears, and I think it's going to be 28-13 in favor of the Vikings and Dobbs.
All right, yeah. Joshua Dobbs is, it's safe to say, probably comeback player of the year, most improved player of the year. It's got to be one of those, right? Just At least it's in that running for the last few weeks. Now, I don't know how the criteria works, but right now, if you had to guess, he's, one of the most talked about men in sport, up there with, Travis Kelce. But when you look at these two teams, obviously the Bears, they should have won that game. They should have had a really good win against the Lions, right? But they blew it, Jay. They blew it. And that's just kind of a tale of how both of those teams' seasons has gone. The Lions have vastly improved, have looked tremendous, while the Bears spent all of this money in the offseason. They have faltered. They have not gotten anything going. I think this is going to be a very, very interesting offseason in Chicago in terms of who's staying, who's getting traded, who are we re-signing, and most importantly, who is leaving. Because I don't think they're going to be attracting free agents like they did this past year and re-sign, just because I think a lot of people expected them, myself included, I didn't think they'd be, Super Bowl contender. I thought they'd be a better team than this, though, for God's sake. I thought that, Justin Fields was take a nice leap in his second full season in the league. He's had good moments, but he's also had some dark moments. So could it just be, continued growing pains in the league, or is that just a sign of things to come with how his career is going to pan out? And then, with the Vikings, obviously they had a big blow with Kirk Cousins going down for the remainder of the season, but they have kept their head above water, Jay. They've done a pretty solid job with losing their, star quarterback for the past few seasons. Yeah. It definitely helps that they have a super talented receiving group, with Jefferson and also with Addison, who they had drafted this past year. So they have a really good team. Overall in their defense, we know what they can do. So for me, I think that I'm going to have to be a little bit closer, but I'm going to go with the Vikings getting the win still in this one. I'll have it being a closer game. I'll go Vikings 28 and I'll go Bears 21. I think the Bears might have a nice showing in this one. Maybe carrying over some momentum from the previous week. But I think overall the Vikings are just a better team. All in all. Well, guys, this has been our NFL preview for this upcoming Thanksgiving edition of Some Great Football. As always, Jay McLovin, it's a pleasure talking sports with you each and every single week. I've been your host and your producer, Logan Landers. Hey, guys, go out there, enjoy some turkey from the Unscripted family. Enjoy some family time. Go watch these games we've covered. and the upcoming ones this upcoming weekend. We'll talk to you guys again on another live episode. We'll see you soon, and go enjoy your happy Thanksgiving.